The air in London didn't just turn cold that winter. It turned into a thick, greasy yellow soup that you could actually feel sticking to the back of your throat. In December 1952, a freak pocket of high pressure clamped down on the city, creating an invisible lid that trapped the toxic soot from millions of coal fires right at street level. This disaster was fueled by a desperate need for warmth during a brutal cold snap, forcing families to burn low-grade, sulfur-heavy coal because the high-quality supplies were being exported to pay off war debts. As the sulfur fumes mixed with the stagnant moisture, the air transformed into a literal cloud of sulfuric acid, turning the sky into a massive, unventilated laboratory of poison. This wasn't a normal mist. It was a chemical shadow called the Great Smog, and it was so dense that people stumbled off piers into the river because they couldn't see their own hands held out in front of them. The city went eerily silent as buses were abandoned in the middle of the road and theaters stopped their plays because the audience couldn't even see the actors through the indoor haze. But beneath the silence, a massacre was happening. Every breath Londoners took was like swallowing needles of sulfur, scarring their lungs and starving their blood of oxygen. Children and the elderly began to collapse in their homes, their skin turning a haunting shade of blue as they choked on the very atmosphere meant to keep them alive. By the time a fresh wind finally tore through the streets 5 days later, the morgues were overflowing, and the city's supply of coffins had completely run out. Over 12,000 people had been quietly wiped out by a cloud of smoke, leaving behind a terrifying lesson that we are only ever a few breaths away from the mercy of the air we breathe. It stands as the deadliest environmental disaster in British history, a moment when the heartbeat of a global capital was nearly silenced by the weight of its own breath, proving that our search for comfort can sometimes lead us straight into a grave of our own making.